bandwidth utilization and expansion is probably the number one thing. And so during COVID and the pandemic, really the government got much more involved from a financial perspective and started investing significantly more money in the industry, while providing guidelines around significantly more bandwidth, per home. So some of the funding programs that are out there today are basically to get a minimum of 100 meg per home passed, which with a roadmap to get to like a 1 gig solution. I love how you guys are willing to work with us to come up with different solutions. So, as I mentioned, in the American Recovery Act, the money was pushed down to the counties. The federal government's still sending the money to the states, and the states are allocating funds. And you guys worked with us from us now helping us gather state level information as well as client specific information, and really helping us put in an organized dashboard to where the entire sales organization can digest all the information and understand what's going on, not only with our clients, but within the states that we service, and to make sure that we're in the best possible position to help out our clients. I think most people are aware of like Google alerts and things of that nature. The difference between a solution like that and what Citylytics is doing is that you're pulling together the amount of research that would be required to get the information in a single update that would take significant amount of time to gather all that information. So let's just say that you actually did get like an alert through Google, right, that says this community has got a broadband initiative. It would take, for the amount of time that it takes for you guys, for the information you guys have gathered, it would take a single person at the very minimum, 15 minutes to a half hour just to gather a portion of that information, where you guys are able to gather this, not only get the information of what's actually happening, which includes details of meetings that were held publicly, the people that were involved in the meeting, all their contact information. I mean, it takes a significant amount of time to gather that information, and the dashboard is basically easy to navigate and help the salespeople like drill down to their area of responsibility, and then have all of this information in front of them to help gather intel as they're talking to clients and communities. This is an obvious statement when I make this, and it won't be a shocker to anybody listening, but we're expecting, north of $52 billion to be injected into this industry. There's never been a time in the history of this industry that there's been this much money distributed from the federal government. And so all of the challenges and excitement and the opportunities that's going to create is probably equal only to probably when the country first started deploying electric, is the only way I can even put it in perspective. And it's the way I look at it, and I get a little bit nerdy on this stuff, is that it's going to create opportunities for not only for the people that are getting this, the service from the broadband providers, but if you think about all of the different solutions that are upstream, that will now have access to all these people because of the connections that they'll have. I just saw something today actually where the American Affordability Act, so basically a program to help people that are at risk for, to get broadband services, so help offset some of the costs. They're higher users of bandwidth than, people that can afford to get, services without some type of assistance, which tells you that, when people have access to it, they use it, right? And you think about all the number of services then that could be, brought to people that never had access to it before, whether they're, financially struggling, or if they're, very, comfortable financially. this will open up doors for companies that we can't even imagine right now. And so I get kind of geeked out on that kind of stuff because, oftentimes, you think about some of the initiatives that, some of the, like Meta and Google, some of those companies where they've thought about what if, everybody had access to broadband, is really becoming a reality. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, where there could very well be not just the bigger companies that you would think of off the top of your head, but some smaller companies that will now have access to people, essentially around the United States and the territories that surround it, that would never have had an opportunity to even have a business before. So I really do think about, how many different directions this is going to go and what opportunities it presents.